Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's workshop on job search from a recruiter perspective by Anna Matthew, who is a HR coordinator, and she will give us a lot of her advices from her experience hiring people, looking at resumes, and interviewing. We are very pleased to have her. My name is Fedwa Dervish. I'm the current chair of IEEE Women Engineering Ottawa, and I have with me Raghu, who is the vice chair. So welcome. I hope you enjoy it. And if you have any questions, let us know. Anna's here to help us and give us advice. So please go ahead, Anna.
Hi everyone. As Fadwa introduced, my name is Anna. I work as an HR coordinator, and shortly I'll be moving to the position of HR generalist. I'm just going to give you an idea what we are going to talk about today. I'm going to give you guys a perspective, an HR, like from a recruiter perspective on how we lock a candidate, how we find candidates, and what are the red flags we see while we are searching for a candidate. So that I hope this presentation helps you with it. So moving forward. So before we start anything, I just wanted you all to know the main difference between a recruiter and a hiring manager. Now, this is very, very important for everyone to know. The reason why, because being a recruiter, what the recruiter exactly does is they publish the jobs, they look for the right candidate, they speak with the hiring manager, and then they try to pull in the right candidate, right? And when it comes to the hiring manager, what he does is he decides what goes into the job description and what exactly is he looking for. So what they do is they will be the must-haves, they'll give us the nice to have, and from that we need to find out the right candidates. This is very important to know because at the end of the day, the hiring a recruiter is part of the hiring process, so is the hiring manager. But at the end of the day, it is the decision of the hiring manager whether to hire this person or not. So it is not in the hands of the recruiter. But however, recruiter is the first person to look at your resume, shortlist you, and give it to the HR manager. Now, moving forward, what a recruiter wish you knew. Uh, do not be very generic when it comes to your resume, and that is first thing that we see before even seeing your face or not even knowing what are you as a person. So it's just a piece of paper that everything goes in, your work experience, your education, everything, and that piece of paper decides if we select you further for the process or not. And when it is too generic, we feel that you are not taking enough effort to read the JD, or maybe we cannot find the keywords. This is so important. You need to customize your resume based on the job. And I just cannot stress this enough. This is so, so important because nowadays we have softwares and stuff. So what we do is we put in the software does this key search, and then it gives you the pool of, let's say there is like 500 resumes, out of which they search like all these keywords and what we look in the must or nice to haves, and then it comes down to maybe like 200 resumes. So that is how the process is. So always customize your resume based on the job description. The second thing I want to say is that I know how frustrated candidates get when we don't give them a feedback, or we just don't come back to them, giving them the reason why they were not selected. You applied for a job, and I truly understand it's so, so frustrating. But from a recruiter's perspective, honestly, we lack a system to give a feedback to recruiters. Right now, what we are doing is what companies are doing it's completely generic. You get rejected, they just send it out, hey, apologies, we are moving forward with a better candidate or something along that line, right? But we are not giving a feedback specific to that particular person who applied for the job. So the difficulty here is that there are, like, as I said, there would be 500 resumes or more that we are looking at. So it's quite impossible for us to reach out to every individual and say, hey, sorry, this is the reason why we didn't reach out. But however, when it comes to interviews, we try our best to give a feedback to the candidates. Maybe some candidates come and request it. Some people, sometimes we just give it to them when we say that, hey, unfortunately, we are moving with other candidate. These are the reasons why you got rejected. Moving forward, resume screening. Now, the things that we look at. One thing that I have to say is that the resume doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to have all the colors and then all these lines, and it doesn't have to be like super colorful or like super like expert design. Nothing. It can be a simple resume, as like all it needs to be is readable, and it needs to be organized, and it needs to be well written. That is what we are looking at in a resume. Like, forget the designs, forget the other aspects. You can be creative with how you present it, but however, at the end of the day, what we are looking at is the content inside the resume, unless you are a designer or anything on that line area of work. The other thing, as I said before, keywords must have requirements and like to haves. And when we have both must haves and like to haves, then we are leaning towards those candidates who have both, rather than the person who just have the must haves. Now, some of the red flags that we as recruiters get, like, these are very generic, but these are very, very important red flags that we find. One is employment gaps. Guys, if you can address your employment gap in your resume, I highly advise it. Let's say you have an employment gap, let's say from anything more than 6 months or 4 months, it is better to address it in your resume. Just say that, hey, I took a break, personal time off, or maternity leave, or whatever, right? Just mention it so the employee is aware why is there a valid reason for that employment gap. Even if you took an year off, there are so many resumes that we see that people took a whole year off just to travel the world, and you think that, oh, they might see it in a, but it is something interesting because you travel the world to have a different perspective about the world, so you might know better, you have a different perspective. Like, it's just, you can put it out there, and there is nothing wrong in mentioning what you did for that time period of gap. The other thing is usual things: spelling, grammar, punctuation. Something I see every time. I believe that when you're in a hurry to write your resume, you kind of forget to use past tense for the jobs that you previously done, and use present tense for the jobs that you're doing right now. So tenses is very important, and alignment, and how you see a resume. Like, look at your resume, and just read your resume after this session, and see that, oh, will I hire myself after seeing this resume? That's the whole idea. The other thing is, your career has gone backwards. Is there any growth? If it has gone backwards, why? Any failure to direction? Oh my God, I cannot say this enough. We say it in the JD, like when we post an ad, we say it explicitly. Please don't apply on Indeed. Please apply on company site. And we give the link, or we might even give the email. People don't follow, and there goes your chance. Okay, some people just request for resumes. Some companies are requested with the resume and cover letter. Like, it is so important for you to read the instruction and the directions given in the in the job posting. Salary requests do not some job ads, they ask for your expectation and you fail to give it, and that is a problem right there, because um, you are not following again the directions given in the job posting. The other thing would be taking advantage of the current employer. So this is one of the examples would be, while I was working, one of the candidate sent his resume through the email, from the email of his current company, wherever he's working at. Now, the employer might allow it, but we don't know, right? So in our eyes, it will be like taking advantage of the company you're currently working in, because our company, we wouldn't want that, using the company time to apply for jobs. That's a red flag right there, right? The other thing would be lack of, we already spoke about it, overqualified applicants. The questions I get very often, Anna, I'm so good at this, I'm so overqualified. Why am I not getting any job? This is so frustrating. Uh, the reason why we don't go with overqualified applicants is that they may leave. It is as simple as that. When there is an opportunity, better opportunity, when a person is so qualified, we are so scared that this person is going to leave eventually. And that is one of the reason we do not hire a overqualified applicant. And nowadays, things are changing with the pandemic situation as well. People are hiring in every levels. The perspective of hiring is changing, but however, uh, inside every company has this fear of people leaving, because training, it's a lot of money that goes into the training, and we don't want to train a candidate for 3 months and then he still keeps looking for jobs and then he leaves after 3 months. So it's a pain, so we don't want that to happen. Then unusual employment history, it's the same, like the employment gap where something is doesn't add up and it's just we couldn't read it through. Next, when it comes to phone screening, when it comes to phone screening, what basically that we are looking at as recruiters, we are not, this is not an interview, right? This is technically for us to understand your resume is good, we like it. So next step is phone screening. What are we looking at? So we need to know your availability, your flexibility. Are you like, if there is relocation, we need to know that. Are you flexible to travel? Do you have a car? Which is are you legally authorized to work in Canada? What status do you hold? Your salary expectation? What is your interest? Why did you apply for this position? What interest? Just to understand, okay, this candidate is committed and they're actually looking to work in this company. Then the other, yeah, obviously knowledge of the company. And this is very, very important. I do understand we all apply for hundreds, 200, 300 jobs. It is so important for you to keep a track on the companies, and we lose track, and I totally understand. And one of the things that I personally learned is that when I get a call or a phone screening from a company, I let it go to my inbox, like my voicemail. So what happens here is I will know which company it is and what they are looking for, right? So most of the time with this ID caller, you will know, like, is it a company call or whatever, right? If it is an unknown number, usually I just let it go to my voicemail so that I know, especially when I'm actively applying for jobs. And this helps me to take a breather. Like, you will be so nervous, oh my God, I got a call, you'll be so nervous. So it gives me time as a breather to like set my mind and give them a call back and set a time for the phone screening. Now, uh, then we talk about the issues with the resume, about the gaps, reason, like why did you leave the current job, why are you looking for other position, and then very basic information, like just to check on your attitude. Do you have a positive attitude? Are you a team player? Like the basic things, right? Uh, the red flag is the same thing. Attitude, absence of questions. Guys, please ask questions. Even if it's phone screening, you should have some or the other question about the company, right? When you don't ask us question, what we feel is, okay, you are not interested, or we just assume it that the candidate doesn't know enough, or candidate is not interested, or it's just a red flag for us when you don't ask question, because everybody has questions. Clarity of answers. When we ask questions, you can stammer, that's not a problem. You can, but don't stammer a lot. Just take a minute, breathe, think about the question. We are not running away. We have a slot of 15 to 20 minutes to talk to you guys, and our questions are within that 20-minute or 30-minute time slot, right? So take your time. So try to answer questions with clarity, and especially with multilingual people like me. Like, I find hard to get words. So what you can do, what I do is I just write down the main, words that I usually go missing. I just write it down so that I don't miss it. That is pertaining to my personal, JD or whatever. Like, I just write it down, these words, so that I don't miss it. The other thing is the attitude. Like, be very, very careful of using expressions like whatever, I don't mind, it doesn't bother me. Other phrases, like, it's just so I don't know, it just gives a very negative vibe for us. And right there and then, it shows that you just don't care. A person who doesn't care is cannot be hired. We need someone who care about the company, who cares about the job that they do. The other thing is lack of understanding. Like, if you're not a good listener, if you keep on cutting me before even I finish the question, then you might even give me the answer that I'm not even expecting, right? So be a very good listener. That is very, very important. Mm, okay, now moving to interview. Interview, what we technically, the HM look for nowadays, being a team player is so important, because most of the works are from home right now. You need to be a team player in every company. Like, even if you're working independently, that quality of being a team player, if you're on site or not, like, it is so important. Like, I cannot stress this enough. And sometimes our candidates are super qualified, they're so good, but they are not team players, and they get rejected for that one reason. Never forget the fact that how much ever good you are always replaceable. You are not the one and only one. You're always replaceable. We can always find someone better. So always keep that in mind. It is good to have the confidence that I'm the best, but always never forget that just because you are the best doesn't mean that there are no other best candidates in the market. So always that keeps you humble, and that keeps you in the right attitude. Um, then about cultural fit. This is again very important, how you fit in a diverse culture, because right now, with so many, we have so many race, ethnicity, people coming from different backgrounds. So you need to be very, very careful. And when you speak, when you communicate, just to make sure you're not making inappropriate comments, or that are culturally sensitive. All these things are very, very important. And your learning capabilities. This one, honestly, most of the time, HMs are like on a, what do you say, like, they're kind of okay with it. Like, everybody has a learning pace. Some are quick learners, some are not. That's not a big deal here. But at the same time, you need to show that you have the drive for learning. If you don't see that, that's a red flag right there. Then the skills. I know most of you most of us, I would say, we lie on our resumes. It's something that comes quite often, and people ask me, "Hey Anna, can I lie on my resume?" Now, when you lie on your resume, at one of these interview process, from start to end, we will find out if you really have the skill or not. Because there will be tests when we talk to the person. When you lie, there are one time what happened is I was interviewing a candidate, and the candidate forgot what he mentioned in the resume because he didn't read the resume before he came for the interview, right? So he literally forgot what he wrote, and when I asked about it, he just he started to like stammer, and then it was a red flag that we knew right then and there, okay, he's lying, he doesn't have the particular skill. So when it comes to skill, there are other things too, right? When it comes to IT firms, there are candidates who lie about knowing certain tools, right? That just because they put in all these must-haves and nice to have, and they put in, oh, I'm gonna put these two. But always remember, for IT, most of the time we have tests, and these questions can be very specific, and the HM will definitely find out. I might not find out because I'm not very technically savvy. I will not find out. I'll just read your resume, I'll shortlist it, and I'll forward it to the, I'll do the phone screening. You might be good, but I'll forward it to the HM. But when it reaches the HM, when if he books an interview, he will definitely know. Then your energy and presentation, like how you present yourself, your body language. Are you a happy person? Are you smiling enough? Are you how nervous are you? Nervousness also we let go. It is understandable, but usually the way you present is the confidence, how smart you are. All these matter. And then, are you career oriented? Are you competitive? Like, do you want to grow? Are you going to last in this company? Or so on, right? Uh, then, and the reason why they should give you a job. One time when we were interviewing a candidate, we asked him like, why do you want this job? He said, because I want more money. Now, we all know that, we all want more money. I would love so much money, right? It's not a problem. But when you go into the interview and say, hey, I'm just gonna go to this job because I want more money, how does it sound, right? Like, just say that and just see, like, will you hire the person? Absolutely not. That is one of the factors. But what drives you for the job? Even if you are just making things up, it doesn't matter. Like, you might not know the company to say like high things about the company, but at least talk about the reason why you applied for the job. What is the drive? It could be one of the good answers we got was like I was he was looking for towards it. One of the things is growth, right? Obviously I'm looking for better growth. And it is also one person, he just came and said that, hey Anna, I absolutely love the company that I work in right now, but unfortunately, however, it is a small firm, so my growth here is limited. I cannot grow beyond this position, and your company is much bigger company, so I want to grow in your company, and I can achieve the career that I'm looking for. Now here what he did was, he not only showed us why he wants to be in the company, he also showed us that he is looking for something long term, not short term. Now every company wants an employee who wants to stay in the company long term. He stays or not, that is a different story, but at least we got the message, right? Now again, some of the red flags. Candidate is late. Now if you have a valid reason why you are late, we would never let the candidate know, saying that, hey, you're late, we won't interview you. There are very, very valid reasons. Sometimes your car can break down, or maybe like unforeseen circumstances. It could be death, or it could be anything. Like it's just very serious, like someone in your family might be hospitalized, so many reasons, right? These things we understand and we try to accommodate. However, if we find it that they are not being reasonable, then we'll just let them go. And candidate is not dressed appropriately. Now, you don't have to dress to impress is a thing, but you don't have to dress up very fancy also. Dress like in, even if it's a business casual, it is acceptable. But at the end of the day, what we are looking at is your, obviously, your skills. Just don't wear your PJs and go for an interview. That's what technically what it is. The other thing is the candidate is not focused or distracted, does not make eye contact. Oh my God, this is so important. Making eye contact is the game changer. Like if you make eye contact and you're confident, that is a game changer for anything, any interview, anything, right? It's just how when you give public speaking, this eye contact is very, very, very important. How you present yourself, right? It shows confidence. It shows how you perceive yourself, and how you are individually, right? As an individual, how you are and how do you present yourself. Now, now some candidates are so distracted, they're so nervous sometimes, or they are so occupied in something over their head, they just don't listen to the questions we ask. So we ask a question and they give us an answer completely different from what we asked. So that's a red flag. So it happened one time, we cross it, hey, or just, I'm going to use Raghu's name. I'm going to say, hey, Raghu, like, we didn't ask you, this is what we meant by the question, but every question you repeat the same thing, then it is a red flag right there. Then the other things are the candidate is being unresponsive, right? When the HM is making a comment, uh, not responding, not nodding your head or trying to understand or count, like asking questions about it, no response at all for anything that is said, and that shows lack of interest, lack of respect, so many things. Um, uh, then, oops, sorry. Uh, and answering again, please don't cut us off when we ask a question, and that is very, very important. Listen to the question and then answer. It is not just in terms of interview. For every day in your life, when a person asks a question, let them complete and then answer, give your opinion or answer them, right? The candidate does not ask meaningful questions. Prepare it way in hand. You can take. There are candidates who come with written notes to us, and we are completely okay with that, because that shows that the candidate has done his research. And then one of the candidate, and he got hired too. When he went to he wrote a couple of questions that he had in mind, and he said that, hey, sorry, Anna, I have so much in my plate. I forget, to certain things. So these are the questions I have in my mind. So I just wrote it down and brought it, if you don't mind. And I said, yeah, absolutely fine. Ask questions, and that's what we are looking for. Uh, Now, and these are these can be similar to something that we are looking at phone screening, but it will be more explicit and it would be right there when you do an interview, because we get more visibility. You're right in front of us. And nowadays with the camera and like we do online interviews now, we don't do in-person interviews anymore, but it is the same, honestly. So yeah. And in-person interview, guys, please make sure when you do an interview, please make sure you click the link and make sure that it is working. Don't wait for like 5 minutes before the interview come and click and there is technical difficulties and then we have a problem. So that is also kind of a red flag when you are not prepared for the interview well. And make sure your camera is working, all your other equipments are working. But other than that, when the internet goes off, like certain things are understandable, but other than that, don't wait last minute to set yourself up. Something that I've learned. Um, Nowadays, something that I see is emotional intelligence. Every corporate, every training and development, something that they incorporate is this emotional intelligence. If you guys have time, do your research on this, and this is very, very important. In a gist, it is nothing but having an understanding of your emotion. If you're angry, not reacting, just understanding, oh, I'm angry. I need to have a hold of my emotion if you're going to cry or whatever, especially in a professional space. This is very, very important because you're going to see different kinds of people. Sometimes they can be people you just cannot put up with, you just cannot stand, but you have to because it's a professional space. You need to work hand in hand with it. So to have that control over emotions and not bursting up or uh, not reacting in a way you're not supposed to react is something that everybody should be very, very um, understanding of. So these are some of the examples of low emotional intelligence and high emotional intelligence. Um, Being aggressive, demanding, egoistic, bossy, selfish, poor listener, all these comes under low emotional intelligence. And something that you can work on for high emotional intelligence are these, like assertive, ambitious, have a drive, warm, sociable, charming. You don't have to be charming always. And when people say sociable, people think that, oh, talkative people are sociable, but sometimes you have to be sociable in a way that you are not annoying people, right? You need to let people talk, and that comes under low emotional intelligence. So knowing that difference, being a good listener, being detailed, careful, organized, like so many these aspects. And when you get time, try to work on this. And this is very, 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 very important in a professional space right now. And we do get training on these as well, how to have that control and what emotional intelligence is. And this can be used in your personal life as well. Trust me that it's very, very, very useful. Mm, some extra insights. I'm almost done. I'm sorry, I'm taking a bit too long. Hope I'm not boring everyone. Uh, the other thing would be always learning. Take an online course, try to learn a new language, try something new. There is so many platform where you can learn free online courses. You don't have to even pay for it. Uh, Job will not come and find you. You need to find the job. Like, don't, some people feel so entitled that I'm so experienced, I'm so good. Oh, the people will come and find me. No, like if you want a job, if you want to improvise in your career, you need to go out there and put yourself out there, right? Just because you have so much experience doesn't mean that you cannot grow. I always, this is something my dad always told me. The moment you think that you're perfect, then the growth stops right there. How can a perfect person grow, right? Right? The moment you think that I'm perfect, I'm all good, that is end of your growth as a person, professionally and personally. The moment but when you think that, okay, I have so much to learn, I'm not perfect, that is when you grow more and more. Then the job search, and trust me, especially when you move to a new country, 3 months is the minimum wait time to find a job. Take it from me. Like if you get it before, awesome, awesome. But in general, even if how much ever good you are, to get into that setup, get used to everything and find a job, minimum wait time is 3 months. So that is something. So have patience, have faith. You will land up in a job, and I promise you, you will land up. There is so many opportunities out there. Keep trying. If you have the passion for it, if you have the strong will for it, you will find it. um, and again, as I said, there is always hundreds of qualified candidates, applying for the same job that you're applying for, which is very something that you need to keep in the back of your mind. Okay. And then I already spoke to you about, lying on your resume. Try to lie it, and when you say something on your resume, at least try to, you can modify whatever you already worked on, like you can add a little bit here and there, but don't lie about something you're completely clueless about, and that will fire back and you will end up having no opportunity. So I think that's the end of my presentation. Now it's I'm open to questions.
Hi, Anna. I have a quick question.
Yeah, please go ahead. Who is it? Naomi? Hi, Naomi.
Naomi. Hi, my name's Naomi.
Yeah.
So I'm a recent grad, and I'm in a little bit of a pickle, if I'm being honest. Like,
Mm.
it's been hard to find a job. And earlier you were talking about like the gaps in your resume. And what do you say? Like, what would you recommend, like, for somebody who like has genuinely been looking for work and like hasn't, and there's just like the gap is getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
So either you can mention it, actively looking for opportunities. That is something that we do. So Naomi, I work for a recruitment agency, right? So what we do is when we send out the resume to the hiring manager, if we don't see it, we include it. Actively looking for opportunities, or took some personal time off, and now you're actively looking for opportunities. So you can mention it. You can actually mention you're actively looking for opportunities. It's not a problem.
Okay, thank you so much. That's great.
Yeah, and also, Naomi, one more thing I would add, if you can say that you did some courses while, even if it's an online course, it doesn't matter. Just add it during this time frame. Try to fill it up with programs, like some online courses. And during this pandemic, we are very understanding. We understand that there is a cap because of COVID. It is very hard, but I promise you the job market is opening, and we are seeing people are hiring crazy now. Once everything goes back to normal, I don't know if it is going back to normal, but
Mhm.
whatever it is going back to, but we see high job volumes, and hang in there. I promise you will end up in the job that you're looking for.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Yeah, and just to follow up on the same. So when you mentioned like mentioned that you're actively looking for a job, so can they like mention it under like in their resume where they just like list out the experiences, and then like they can just list out like this time to this time actively looking for a job, or how do you prefer?
So you can even put it under the work experience. You know how you put, so usually the method I like to see in a resume is that, um, so first is the job you're currently working. So you put, or whatever is the most recent job you worked. So first you put the company name, uh, below you put the title, and onto the right corner you put the duration, right? And then above that, you can say that currently actively looking for a job from, or just say currently actively looking for job in bracket current. You can give it like that as well. And this is not mandatory, but it is something nice that you can do. And one more thing I want to add while you guys are asking this question is that when you make your resume, don't list out just your responsibilities. Okay, list when you write the responsibilities, write I wish I had a dummy resume that we look at. I'm sorry, but next time maybe I can share it with the team and they can share it with you guys. Below the responsibilities, uh, put a just put a title saying that achievements, and list out one to, even if it's just one achievement, write it down. What did you achieve while you're working here, right? Something that you did, a project that you did, something that stood out, anything that you can think of. Put at least 1 to 2 achievements in under every job you worked, even if just organizing an event. In IT, it could be learning a new tool, right? Or leading the team, or working with the team, or it maybe an idea that you came up with, and uh, the company implemented it. Okay, I think this is very helpful, guys. Achievements, always highlight your achievements, because putting just your responsibilities will never end you, will never help you. All in all, achievements is very, very important. I hope I answered your question, Ashley. Oh,
Hello.
oh, sorry. Whoever was talking?
Hi.
Yeah, hi.
Uh, so there's a saying that 80% of the jobs are hidden and not posted online. So I'm wondering how could I get a job by digging the opportunities on those ones?
Um, yeah. Hi, Christy. It is true that there is so many internal hires that happen through references. So the best way to do that is build your network. Build your network, and I would not say 80% of the jobs are hired internally, but most of the time it is in an unionized environment. So when I used to work for a hospital, how it worked was, first, any job, first we need to post it internally as per the union rules. And if we do not find anyone internally for the job, then only we can post it externally. And certain jobs that are non-unionized, we might post it internally and externally. So finding, in order to, so never, I would say never assume that this job will be hired internally and not apply. Just apply anything that you see.
So actually, I did some research for the company, for the ideal company I want to apply, and I found that they have the very related aspect of what I was learning in the university. And right now, I'm a new graduate, so I know that I'm qualified for some of the job they might have, but I didn't find it online. I used to saw it online, so I'm wondering, do they still need people like me? And might post it in the future, or should I just start it networking, for example, by sending the emails for the most related person that I know online? I could find the contact information for those engineers related to my research area. Could I just reach out by contacting by email?
Sure, Christy, you can do that as well. But always keep in the back of your mind, they might not be the hiring manager, right? So there are people who send out resumes for the company that I work for, but I do not hire internally. I only hire for our clients. I don't hire internally. So when they reach out to me, what I do is I forward the resume to my hiring manager, and I don't even follow up, because I don't know because I cannot go back and ask to my manager what is the status of this resume, or if like sometimes I might not even have the time. So it's totally depends on who the person you're referring to, right? Like if you found it through LinkedIn and you're reaching out, it is not always necessary this person is going to forward your resume. So it would be better for you to find the right contacts, try to find who is the hiring manager, or who's the authority who will be doing the hiring, and then reach out. You can even send your resume to the HR. Definitely they'll forward your resume to the hiring manager. So that is something that you can do. And when you reach out to your contacts in in LinkedIn, one thing that I see, please don't reach out by saying, "Hey, I'm looking for a job. Um, this is what I'm looking for." Rather, try to build a connection. Just say, "Hi, I saw that you're working for this particular company. I just wanted to have a chat with you. Just wanted to know how the market is." Or maybe you can ask for tips from this particular person how to land in your dream job. So that is how you build the connection. Don't go right away and just ask for a job. Sometimes it's, I don't know, when I receive, I don't mind, I respond, I forward it to my manager. But after that, the candidates doesn't even follow up, they just come, ask for a job, they just leave. So the idea here is building your network, and that is the best, and LinkedIn is the best place. To build a network, you need to have a conversation with the person, right?
I found that there are some alumni in their company, but some of them are not in my major. But the most related one, it seems that like 5 or 6 people in their company are in my background. So most of them, I think, are managers or principals, like in very high level. I'm afraid they won't reply to me, but I think this is the most effective way, that they know what the company needs and they know what background of the candidate they need, right?
Yeah, yeah. And Christy, one thing I would say, that never be afraid to reach out. See, reaching out is your job, responding is their job. So you don't have to worry about how the person on the other end will react. If they react best for us, right? So just because you're afraid of reaching out, don't lose that opportunity. Some people are super nice. They're so nice that they will respond back to you and they will help you out. You can ask even for mentorship, right? That is one other thing. You can ask if the person is ready to mentor you. They don't have to give you a job, but they can mentor you. So these are the things that you can look into for help, so that eventually it will help you to land in the job that you want to.
What tips you will give me as for the reaching out by email? Like what should I put in the email, and what should I highlight?
So one of the thing I used to do was, when I was a recent graduate, is that when I used to reach out, I would just say, "Hey, I'm new to Canada. My name is Anna." I just give a little bit of gist about, I'm a new graduate. It would be great if you could give me some insight into the job market of this particular position. And most of the time they responded, surprisingly. If you're reaching out via email, you can use the same content. Just put in subject, maybe would like to connect, and put your name. Hey, hi, just give a gist about yourself. And whenever we see a new grad, we try to help a lot, honestly. Like when it comes to me with resumes and all, if I screen it, if I see any mistake, there are times when I used to like edit it and give it to them. So while we are talking about this, guys, Grammarly, it's a free app. Put your resume in that, check the grammar. It's so easy. It will save your life. That is something I forgot to I mention it earlier. So Christy, yeah. So when you reach out, you can put it around. When you're a new grad, you can say, "I'm a new grad. I would like to connect with you. If you can guide me or mentor me for this particular." And you get so many templates for this online.
Do we need to put some like the project or thesis in the email too?
Projects that you worked on?
Yeah.
No, if you want to connect with someone, you don't have to mention, unless and until you're reaching out for a job. Then you give the introduction like a cover letter. But if you're reaching out to a person to connect, you don't have to mention Actually, it wouldn't be a bad idea to mention the project. You can say these are some of the projects that I have worked on. Do you think this will help me with my future? Or literally, when you reach out, what you're asking for is guidance. So the subject should, the body of the email should mention that you're not just looking for a job, but you're looking for someone to guide you and mentor you as well.
Sorry to ask you so many questions, but one last more. So my idea is to make a strong connection with the person I reach out, right? So I did very detailed and very deeply background research on the company, what they did in the past year for the projects, what
Correct.
every person working in the company majored at, focused at. So I know very detailed of every person and every project so far. So I want to make a connection of what they have done in their company with what I have done in my study history. Is that a good idea?
So Christy, that would be easier when you apply for a job, right? When you apply for a job in that company, that would be great. But when you reach out initially, just keep it small and brief, right?
Okay.
After that, if they come back to you, then you can have the discussion that you want.
Okay, just briefly and
Yeah,
mention the most
briefly
important things.
briefly to the point, because these people are so busy and they might not even have time to read through the entire email, right? So first email, keep it to the point and brief, and if they come back, you can have the conversation, whatever conversation you want to have.
Okay, and
Yeah.
and during this time, we don't have like face-to-face opportunities, like just
Yeah.
following up by email or by phone, right?
Yeah, that is true. Like everything is by email or phone or video chat. Yeah, everything is through the same. Yeah, you're right.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.
No problem, Christy.
Hi, Anna. So we have a few questions on the chat. One was privately sent. The first one is like, do you have to know someone inside the company that you are working with, like, or applying for? So I think that goes back to the conversation that you just had about reaching out. I think I'm not sure. Like, can you repeat a little bit about the like, how do you introduce yourself in the beginning? Like, just like that short email that you were writing, or that LinkedIn connection request. Do you want to like take that, or do you want to ask? Should I ask also the second one?
Yeah, I'll take the first question. I see that knowing someone inside the company helps. I would never say that it wouldn't help. It would help because you get more insight about the company. However, knowing somebody inside the company not necessarily will help you end up in the job. I'll tell you why. Because if unless and until this person is hiring, okay, this is the hiring manager, but if he's not, this person is not the hiring manager, whoever the person is, then it is up to the hiring manager if they want to hire the person or not, right? When you hire a person that you know, it is up to this person to ensure that, okay, this person is good, and whatever the problem, whatever the liability, it comes on to you. If the person doesn't perform well, it is a high risk the person you know taking for you and meeting the expectations and all that. That's a different area altogether. And the other question was reaching out on LinkedIn. Um, uh, so it would be around this line. Hey, my name is Anna. I'm a new grad from whatever college you're from. You can then say, I'm looking for someone who can help me out or give me guidance to land up in my dream job, or something around that line, right? where you can formulate it in a way where you're actually looking for guidance. And with that guidance, you might even end up having an opportunity. You never know. Like there is no promises, but the takeout would be huge. Like whatever that person information is given to you, could be very, very crucial.
Okay, perfect. So another question is, any advice for those with no prior employment or experiences in the workforce? Are there particular achievements that recruiters are more attracted to, or can it be any kind of experience and achievements?
So when you include your job, just make sure it aligns with the opportunity that you're looking for. For example, I do one of the things when I graduated, I do have friends um, who has been in HR field for more than 20 years. So what they told me is I do have, so when they looked at my resume first, because I wrote every single experience I had, like working at Best Buy, all these information, right? So they told me, Anna, this is not important because this has nothing to do with the job that you're looking for. So those jobs, you can just put it down and say additional experience, right? Whatever additional work experience you have, you can put it under that. And when you're a new grad, you need to say what did you achieve as a new grad? What are your contributions to the college, to the community? What did you participate in? All these shows every single achievement matters. So that is something as a new grad that I had a learning. You can always put in like one or two jobs, and customer service jobs are always important. Any job, it is so, so important because that is something where you learn how to communicate, deal with customers, have a hold on your emotions. Sometimes people are rude, handle difficult situations. There is so much takeout when you work in a customer service back when you have a customer service background. You can always put that in, and you can always add, just twerk it like if you had this like you can always twerk it in a way that you have resolved major issues, assisted with certain things. You can explain the scenarios as well. And I do understand, being a new grad, it is very hard for you to land up in a job because nowadays new entry level positions, they ask for 2 to 3 years experience. I was like, are you guys serious? You write new entry level position, and then they say, oh, you know what? I need three plus years experience. So that doesn't make sense. Just because and the other part is that even people with so much experience are applying for entry level jobs because they lost the jobs and they just couldn't find one. But now that the market is catching up, I see a lot of opportunities. The companies are posting for internships. There are 1 year internships, 6 month internships. Um, I would always prefer paid internship because somewhere I believe that companies should pay graduates for their work. You do get the same training as everybody gets. So at the end of the day, I believe you should go for paid internship or somewhere along that line. But even if you get the unpaid one, I wouldn't recommend doing it more than 1 or 2 months because um, there is value, but still money is also equally important, right?
There is another question about overqualified and how do you deal with that?
Yeah, I think I already spoke about this being overqualified. Um, so when I used to apply for customer service, um, you know, to be a customer service rep, I have a master's degree. I just removed it because nobody would hire me. how much ever I applied for jobs, nobody, because they all think like a master students, why does she want to do this job, right? So I I actually removed it. And during the interview, I did say that and when you're a student, it actually doesn't matter because most of the customer service jobs are done by students. Wherever I used to work, all my coworkers were students, so it's not a problem. But when you're actively looking for a job and when you're a professional and then you're overqualified, somewhere the company needs the assurance that you will not be leaving the job, or you will not be actively looking. Now, again, this is debatable because um, less qualified people also leave. So, but it is kind of more when you have more experience and when you know that you can jump from one to other and you can get better salary or a better position, right? Nobody will let that go. So being overqualified is not a bad thing. At least from my perspective, it is not a bad thing. It is good if a company has someone for a position who is like really good, but the pay also matters. Well, like if you're overqualified, there are chances where you might not be getting paid the expected pay what you're looking for because you're applying technically applying for a job where you're overqualified. Let's say uh, your market value is 60,000 or $60,000, and then you apply for a job which is $50,000. If you get in 3 or 4 months, if you get a position which matches your salary expectation, will you leave or not? Now, these are the things that we look at.
Thank you. If anybody else have any questions, or we are close to the conclusion. There was a question a little bit from me on the emotional intelligence. So you mentioned it and you give us like a nice chart that we can use. But like, how does it kind of work with the job search, or how do you incorporate it
Um,
in your
s- so so when it comes to emotional, I'll tell you one of the scenarios. Like, uh, the job is a high volume job where you will have so many like it would be a high so much pressure, right? Like it's a fast paced environment and things are just moving fast, go go go. And you might need to do quick learning or all these aspects, right? At this time you need to have that calm. You cannot be you cannot lose your calm. You cannot explode. You cannot be um, you cannot shout. You just need to have the handle a hold of that situation where you can be calm and composed. And that is, I think that is one of the things that every company looks at when you are hired for any job, because right now any job is important and it is high volume. There will be a lot of work. How you handle work, how you handle stress, having that work-life balance. All these things are incorporated in, like, it's technically having the intelligence to understand your emotion when you can pick it out. Hey, Anna, you're sad, you're upset, or you're just being arrogant, you're stressed, you're whatever is going on in your head, you can pick out the right emotion. And having that intelligence to pick out the emotion is something very important. I'll give you a good example. We your child did something wrong, okay? Something wrong, and as a parent, you're so angry at the child, right? You're so angry. Um, but if you react without, like, immediately, without addressing that you are angry, then you might say hurtful things to the child that you don't want to say. Okay? Now, the second scenario is child did something wrong and you address, okay, Anna, this is a situation where you need to be angry. You are angry, but how are we going to handle this? Okay, when you that moment, that spark, when you understand that you're angry, and how should you react to it? Should you act in a calm way, or should you actually be angry and say that, hey, what you did is wrong, this is not the way you are supposed to react? Is that how you should react? Or you should, the choice, right? How would the child react? Is this a situation where I need to be angry to discipline the child, or is this a situation where I need to be calm to discipline the child? So that whatever comes out of your mouth will be reasonable without hurting the other person sentiments. I think I was clear.
No, thank you. They're really great answers to all of the questions, actually. Thank you so much for all your time. Thank you, everybody, for attending. Thank you for our co-host, Young Professionals Ottawa. They helped with the marketing. So thank you, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have additional questions, let us know. Also, I believe Anna will provide us with the slides and we can share it with everybody that attended. So yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you, Fatwa and Raghunath. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I enjoyed this thoroughly. And whoever is attending this session, thank you so much for taking the time and attending this session. And if you have any question, email them. I'll take the time to respond it. I promise within 2 to 3 business days, I can respond to your question. Anything, please reach out. You can also add me in LinkedIn. So any questions, you can reach out there as well. Thank you so much, guys. Thanks a lot.
So everybody also don't forget to like our Facebook and Instagram pages. And also, I don't know if anybody's interested, last time in the workshop, everybody wrote their LinkedIn profile in the chat so everybody can connect, especially that now everything is online. So, this is would be a great opportunity. So if anybody's interested, just write your LinkedIn and let's connect.
Thank you, Fadwa.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too.